Hello and welcome to the round table for Red Dirt DnD. I'm Michael Cross.
I'm Konnor Shenold.
Johnny Payne.
Kiri Hester.
Ash King wondering where the heck is Brooke?
Brooke is not here. Brooke has family stuff he's dealing with.
He's being a family man.
Yes.
Family.
And so we are Brookless.
For a bit.
For just a bit.
Could you say in that case we're broke?
We're broke.
Wow.
We're broke
Yes.
deficient.
So we are still going to do this roundtable and talk about anything that's kind of going on with episodes 43 through 46 or previous. So if you haven't listened to episodes 43 to 46, make sure you go back and listen to them because they're really awesome.
To the spoiler zone.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that's where you are.
And remember, this first 15 minutes is for everyone. Everything after that is for patrons only. And at the tail end of this 15 minutes, I'm going to, what I think might be surprise everyone, get their reaction, and then explain it for the patrons. So, if you visit our website, click on the patron link.
Yes.
Find out what's going on.
So one thing I did want to talk about before we do anything else is the fact that a new 5e Dungeons & Dragons is out. And the Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft, I've been reading it. I'm I'd say about maybe 2/3 of the way through the book because I don't read fast. I read to absorb, and I've been absorbing it a lot and enjoying it. And I think, and I'm going to come right out and say this, I think that this is the best, especially Dungeon Master book, that Wizards of the Coast has put out for 5th edition. Because it's not great for players. Players have got Xanathars, they've got Tashas.
Players have gotten so much love over the last 2 or 3 releases.
Yeah, and after you look at the end of Xanathars, the end of Tashas, then they throw in some stuff for DMs. This really is for the Dungeon Masters out there. And it creates all this space. It is wonderful, and these domains they're not fleshed out. They don't have stat blocks for everything. That's because you're the Dungeon Master.
That's for
you're
you.
supposed to do this kind of stuff. All this is doing is giving you flavor. And it's so good. So how have you been feeling about it, Ash?
So I have been. This is actually something that 5th edition, certain realms of 5th edition players and Dungeon Masters have been asking for ever since the release of Curse of Strahd. And that was what, 2016 was Curse of Strahd?
Something like that.
Like ages
It's been a while.
It's been a minute, but yeah, it was so that book released, and because everyone was pointing out that, Curse of Strahd was just Barovia, which is only one of the domains of dread. There are many domains of dread, and that's finally what Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft brings back, is all of the other Dark Lords, all of the other domains of dread. So it gives you that little window into each of those, and it'll probably make a lot of newer Dungeons & Dragons players interested in those other domains again. And if you want to learn more about them, the information is out there. I mean, I think I made Johnny and Mike a little jealous when last night.
Oh, the pictures that you shared.
Yeah.
Because I scored a couple of years ago. I scored 30 some odd books, classic 2nd edition Ravenloft books, and it's all of these different Van Richten's guides to all these different types of monsters. I have a couple literally one book is called Domains of Dread, and so it lists out a lot of these other domains of dread. So the information is out there.
Yeah.
And so you can go and find a lot more information on it. And that's really what I wanted from this Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft.
It's filled out everything that I've thought it could be, and even better, because as a setting book, oh my gosh, finally Wizards of the Coast has moved away from Forgotten Realms and
This is
or
only our
one
second.
yeah.
This is only our second actual setting book.
Yeah.
For, well, I say second, but it's like the third setting book because all of the main 5e content is set in Forgotten Realms.
Yeah.
We now have Eberron.
Yeah.
And then
Ravnica.
Yeah, so because
Magic,
that came out, and then we have and now we have Ravenloft back.
But it's one that's
full-on
not
Ravenloft
one
back.
setting. That's the beauty of it. It is several settings, and
Well, yeah.
you could flesh out, hundreds. It's as big as a universe. It's the closest to a planescape type of planar travel type thing that we have certainly so far. Would love to see more, but
Yeah, I mean, I love the concept of the Domains of Dread. I love the fact that it's, and really what this does, it really encourages you, like, especially if you're a horror fan, like if you're someone who really loves the horror genre and all aspects of the horror genre, because you can run a demiplane of dread that's cosmic horror. You can run a demiplane of dread that's classic gothic horror.
Right.
I mean, if you want it, like, I want someone to write me, I want Camp Crystal Lake as a Domain of Dread.
Well, and then of course they have the slasher horror. They do actually talk about that as well. Johnny, you've played in some of the Domains of Dread in Ravenloft in past editions.
Right, yeah, way back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how does this compare?
It really makes Strahd out to be a low rent landlord in
Well,
an easy hotel and on the edge of town.
Well,
where,
I mean, Strahd's he's just a freaking Chad anyways, because he's constantly chasing after Tatiana.
Yeah, in whatever
Right.
appearance she comes
Oh my gosh,
in.
though.
Such a simp.
Tatia. Okay, I have to talk about Tatagate. I have to talk
You
about
mentioned
this. So, like about a week before Van Reichtens came out, like one of the designers had this really weird take on Tatiana. So if you're familiar with the story of Strahd, is that Strahd was in love with his brother's betrothed, killed his brother, tried to take his betrothed, but she wasn't having it, so she tossed herself off the balcony of Castle Ravenloft to her death. Well, because her soul is trapped in this demiplane of dread, it keeps getting reincarnated. So he keeps going after these different incarnations of Tatiana. Right. Well, one of the designers had this really weird take about how, like, well, Tatiana's soul could be anywhere in any demiplane of dread. It could even be in, like, one of the other Dark Lords and blah, blah, blah. And so all of the Domains of Dread Twitter, because there's a whole subset of Twitter that's just like different like role players and different like people who just control the different Dark Lord accounts. They were all like changing their names to like it was like Strahd von Tatiana and
It's Tatiana all the way
Tatiana
down.
Rex instead of Aslan Rex. So yeah, it was just like it became like the Borg. It's like
Nah,
Yeah.
We are Tatiana. You're unique.
we're all
Right.
around you.
Biology will be absorbed into our own.
Yeah, and I don't want to spend all the time on the. I just also want to say the fact that it talks about horror, and you should, if you decide to run a horror fan, let me tell you, if you're a DM out there, all of your games should have suspense, should scare your characters, not the players. The players should be having fun. But if you're a dungeon master out there, all of your games, regardless of if they're horror or not, should be. We've gotten scared for our characters in this game, and this is not a horror game. So don't ever think, I can't do this kind of stuff. It's not a horror game. You're a dungeon master. Do the job of because those are the most memorable.
One of the best pieces of advice that I would ever say that like I would want to give out to my dungeon masters out there is that your players should be safe. They should feel they're in an environment, that they can be comfortable in. Your characters should never be safe.
No, it's a dangerous world out there. Take this. It's dangerous to go alone. Take this. Okay, so I want to talk about the show. How have we felt about what happened during the past 4 episodes? Go.
I really like Pete.
Pete's fabulous.
Pete was amazing.
Pete's my favorite. I'm just very pleased. Pleased as Pete, you might say.
Please, this Pete.
Pete's gonna come back. He's gonna be a regular.
I think you should.
I love that he did like some parkour
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And then,
Hardcore polar bear parkour.
Yeah.
Parkour.
In the classic D&D, he can try.
Certainly try.
That's always my favorite thing to say. Like as a DM, just you can try.
Try.
You can try anything. It's the dice who decide if you succeed.
yeah.
There were-
Congratulations, you successfully jumped down here and tried to fight this ghost. Bye.
Yeah. You did disperse him very soon after that.
They were ghosts. His claws were doing nothing.
we had some issues where I killed a woman when I shouldn't have.
Well,
It was not just Gideon. It was Michael. I saw a character that was down. I knew I had advantage, and it was the old school hack and slash of
power trip.
Michael coming back on. I can do because I should have taken on the fire elemental that was sitting right.
Well,
I can smite.
the same thing happened with me in Anarchy. Remember? I was ready because logistically in my head, I was like, if we sent Anarchy's head back to my dad, he'll leave us alone. Kiri and probably Poppy didn't even think about Jubilee.
Standing right there, listening to your conversation and being like, excuse me, that's my brother.
We were children together.
He's a,
Yeah.
I mean,
We
he's a
fed
jerk.
each other.
He's a jerk, but I don't think he deserves that.
Yeah, same kind of a deal.
Yeah.
So I just lost track of.
It's-
Oh yeah. So and Ash is always really great at consequences.
Yeah.
Your actions have consequences.
And it
Oh
actually-
boy, aren't they ever?
And it went back to the old AD&D of my youth when you played a paladin. You couldn't just go willy-nilly doing whatever it is you want to do. As a paladin, you've got decisions that you need to make, and those choices have consequences if you make the wrong ones. So I loved the fact that all of a sudden, what was it you said? She's not mad. She's
not
just
mad.
disappointed.
She's disappointed.
So incredibly, I really enjoyed that. What other thoughts do we have for the?
It's a steel longsword with jet embossed on the hilt.
Silver-plated. with
Silver-plated
jet.
steel longsword. For the Dex party.
Yeah.
Super useful.
Or the kobold trying to get on the halfling's back.
Yeah.
I remember when that sword was being talked about, I was like, oh, that'd be so nice. Oh, that'd be so nice. And then Michael goes, yeah, I'll take that. And I look over and he starts writing, and I'm like, okay, that's fair because you're actually in the room with it, holding it, and I'm like somewhere not there.
I probably wouldn't have, except, but it was a +2, and it changed for me. It became
Right.
It has a
Daga
minor
sword.
property.
I'm like, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I love that table. Like, I feel like that's a really underutilized table in the Dungeon Master's Guide. It's just like minor property of a magic item table, and it just gives flavor, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's like so many different options on there. There's some cool stuff. There's literally one option that's like, if you're wearing this item, you can survive in sub-zero temperatures or above boiling temperatures.
Right.
And it's like, what?
Which is kind of cool. All of a
Which is
sudden.
really
Yeah.
cool.
I'm
Thanks
swimming
to
in
Twitter.
lava.
Exactly.
Because I can.
Because I can. But yeah, no, I'm just gonna come right out and say it. Like, I really, really loved the moment when you guys are arguing over the crystal.
Oh, that was
Did
so
you
wonderful.
really?
Yes.
Everyone loved
Yes.
that.
I hated it.
Well, from
Excuse me, I'm going to go to the bathroom now.
From a character standpoint, again, like we've been having all these changes to our characters. They're having to make decisions and figure out their new relationships in light of recent events. So the fact that it kind of came to a head with this conflict, it was a really good moment, a really good moment of growth.
Yeah.
And then I get to surprise you with a fireball.
And we're going to talk about more about this on the other side of the
Therefore,
block because we're about the 15-minute break right now. So first off, let's thank our patrons who are going to be listening to the rest of this podcast on our website at patreon.com/Red Dirt DnD. Become a patron now, and you can actually listen to the rest of this where we will talk more about this fight that we had. Plus, we're going to find out more about Johnny talking about.
You cut your hair.
Wow.
I shaved my
Johnny's
head.
got no hair.
got no hairs.
I'll explain this one in a few minutes.
Why he got no hairs?
Talk about that on the other side of the block as well. So, very quickly, we do want to thank our patron members.
We would like to thank our patrons, Nightmare,
Yay.
Jamie Van Giuseppe,
Yay.
New Mexico,
All of New Mexico?
all of New Mexico.
Thank
state.
you, the
Thank
whole
you,
state
state.
of New Mexico.
AKA, if you're on the Discord, John.
Oh, yay.
John!
Cool.
We also need to thank Tim,
Yay.
Derek Rusnick,
Derek, yeah.
Germbot,
Yeah.
Kimberly Cross,
Yeah.
Courtney,
Yeah.
David Adams, Carla Stevenson,
Yeah.
Nicholas Rodriguez,
Hey, Nicholas, Nico.
Sheila Griffin,
Nico.
Strix,
Strix.
Tim A,
The other Tim.
and Tina McBride.
So much, and they are going to be listening to the rest of this. In the meantime, have a great week, and we will see you every Wednesday right here. In the meantime, we'll see you on the flip side.
If you
Remember to
live
check for traps.
if you live in Oklahoma, stay weather aware.
So I lost a bet with my daughter.